Hey guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoiler-free review of the Wilderwood Duology by Hannah Whitton. Kit is here yelling at me, probably for most of this video, so I will have a compilation of all the times she interrupted probably at the end of this. This is a adult fantasy duology, and in the first book we are following primarily our main character of Red. She is the second sister born in this kingdom that is in the middle of, or like abuts up right against this Wilderwood, this giant forest that is kind of corrupted. You can't go in it, bad things happen, and there is this pact between the royalty there and this like entity called the wolf. And whenever there are two daughters born, and they're always born as twins, and they're not always born all the time, like it happens every 100 of years or so, there is one that is for the throne. The first daughter is for the throne. She's going to be the next royal, and the second one is for the wolf. She gets kind of sacrificed to the wolf. But the wolf is not a wolf, the wolf is a man. She doesn't know this until she ends up going into the Wilderwood when she's, I think it's like when she's 18, she has to go in. And her sister is very distraught about this. We also get perspectives of her sister Nev, like the entire time that she is gone, kind of intermittently. And what Nev doesn't know is that Red wanted to go because something happened years ago, also on their birthdays, where she's kind of been tied to the Wilderwood and has some kind of like nature magic and doesn't really know what to do with it. And so then she ends up going to the Wilderwood, learning more about what's happening, learning more about the wolf and the story of the wolf and the gods, and everything goes from there. So the first book primarily follows Red, while her sister Nev, who is the primary character in the second book, is kind of falling into this possibly like corrupted magic and things, trying to get Red back. The second book is primarily following Nev, and we get snippets of Red's story as well. So these two books are definitely intertwined, mirrors of each other. The whole theme of this duology is how these sisters are tied together. They are mirrors to each other. There is substantial romantic subplots as well, but I wouldn't say these are romantasy books. These are fantasy books with solid romantic subplots. So first off, we talk about the world building. I think the world building in this series is fantastic. I love everything about both books, which do something slightly different. So the first book is primarily about the like Wilderwood and the dark magic there and the corrupted magic, and finding out more about the legends of like the wolf, who the wolf is, how the Wilderwood got kind of closed off from everything else, and just like nature magic and Red's nature magic and all of that. And you guys know how I feel about corrupted woods and about like nature magic and all of that. So it's perfect for that. And we also start to get, and we get throughout the whole series, these like, what is this religion? They primarily worship the kings, which are like a bunch of kings from the past that got trapped. We don't really know what happened to them. And so there's this religion around the kings. As the book goes on, we find out that the kings are not exactly who we thought they were. And so this like religion being a big part of the kingdom as well, or really queendom, and the ways that it has been morphed and used and all of that, which I tend to really love whenever religion as a subplot or as a part of the world building is brought in like that. The second book's world building involves a lot of the old gods, so the gods that were existing before the kings, and finding out more about that, and this other like shadow realm kind of thing too, which you get snippets of in the first book. And so that is really cool. So if you like any kind of like corrupted forest stuff, that's happening in this whole series. Next, we talk about our characters. I really loved both sisters for different reasons. Again, the ways in which they are mirrors to each other, and their stories are mirrors to each other, and they are twins that are very connected together, but then have very different personalities, and the ways in which they're making different choices and things, but all in an attempt to like protect the other one. Just fantastic. So both of them are really cool. Red has more of this like wildness to her, this again, this tie to nature magic. Nev has more of this like darkness, like is she really a good person, all that she's constantly battling with, and I enjoyed both of their personalities a lot. They each also have love interests that I think worked so well for them. And like the dynamics work. One is a little bit more like enemies to lovers. The other one is again more of like an enemies, like not sure kind of to lovers, but in a way that kind of works. If you really like the Uprooted by Naomi Novik, I think that you would really like these. It has like that similar feel to it of these characters are sort of like growing to like each other more, and like actually experiencing things and having more of a slow burn versus just like we immediately love each other and think the other one's really hot. Like, no. And so the ways in which like the character development for them and the love interests like flows works really well. I also really enjoy a lot of the side characters. There is one in particular that in the second book we get a perspective from that I was like, I don't really care about that. Like, I sort of get why she did it for some like information purposes, but I don't like it as much. I like the antagonists a lot. Again, some of the stuff about the gods and things that you get to see a lot. So I think the characters are also pretty strong in this. There's a few times that they like kind of misstep a little bit, but overall pretty strong. Lastly, we'll talk about the plot. Again, also really like the plot. The theming of all of this, it's a really good mix of a character-driven story and a plot-driven story. There's something that's always pushing things along, especially kind of like external factors that are kind of pushing things along, but also a lot of like character things pushing everything along as well. I would say the plot in the first book feels a little bit tighter and better than the second book. There's some parts of the second book that don't quite line up well for me, but overall the world and the characters make up for it in the second book. I would say that overall this series is like a 4.25 star series. I really enjoy it, and because a lot of it just speaks to me and what I really enjoy about themes explored, own world religions, you know, forest magic, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed this, and I will be giving Hannah Whitton's other series a try as well, because it seems like she's an author that I'm going to really enjoy all of the themes and the world building and stuff that she does in the future. So comment below, let me know what you thought of the Wilderwood duology. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye. Why are you yelling at me? You're yelling. Why are you yelling so loud? You don't know. Okay, tell the people. Yeah, perfect. A perfect creature. I have to film though. I can't just hold you the entire time. Thank you. Sweet angel.